Hey everyone, welcome back, or if you are new to the channel, then welcome to the channel. So in this episode I'll be taking a look behind the scenes of Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare, which has been requested a number of times by you viewers out there, so I certainly hope you enjoy this one. So in Modern Warfare we start off in the training camp, which I guess is a good place to start, and if you've had a look around here you'll know there are various warehouses. In number 1 we have the mock-up cargo ship, in number 3 where we start there's the shooting range, then in number 4 we can find, well, not much apart from this floating number 1, which looks like it's the number from the number 1 warehouse. Not entirely sure why that's here. You may have noticed I did miss out number 2, and that's because number 2 is the most interesting. Now, we never enter this particular warehouse, but if we did, we would find all these objects or assets that are used throughout the training ground map, from chalkboards to razor wire. Kinda like a warehouse should be, so I guess it's quite fitting that the devs dumped all these objects in here. The most intriguing thing about number 2 is over in the corner, where we can find what looks like a mock-up small house, kinda like the cargo ship mock-up. Pretty cool stuff, but I'm not entirely sure why it's in here. I wonder if at some point this was going to be used during the training ground tasks that we have to complete. Just before we leave for the cargo ship mission, I just wanted to show you some out of bounds madness that I came across. If you've ever watched a Slipping Out episode in the past, you've probably already guessed that the vehicles that we see going past the edges of the map basically just appear at one side and then disappear as they reach the other side out of sight of the player. Pretty standard stuff. However, I don't want to bore you, so what we're going to do is fly underneath the map, and there is something quite interesting that I found to do with the skybox. Because, believe it or not, all the time that we're playing this training mission, underneath us is what I can only describe as, well, two little pigs down here. Alright, so we are on the cargo ship, and if you have ever felt a bit seasick, here's all you need to do. Just detach the camera from your own head, and by doing this you'll find it's actually the camera swaying that gives the effect of the boat rocking on the waves, not the boat moving itself. In all seriousness, this is pretty neat camera trickery by the developers.
اليوم نهضنا من جديد كشعب واحد في وجه الخيانة والفساد.
During the mission The Coop, which is more of a cinematic mission than anything, I noticed that we actually miss out some of the map after being dragged out of the car. Now, to be honest, we aren't missing that much, but I thought I'd just show how this happens in case anyone else noticed this too. Heading back to my glitching out of bounds routes now, which is something I was doing years back on Call of Duty games. There's an awesome out of bounds glitch on the map Charlie Dawn Surf that practically lets you explore the whole map. I'm going to run through this quite quickly. It is pretty easy to do once you get the hang of it, but it can be frustrating at first too. So stick with it if you want to explore this map yourselves.
Bring in the engineers and let's get this tank moving.
At the end of the mission bog, I was interested to find out where exactly the Cobra helicopters fly off to. I've got to admit, I thought they'd just disappear once they get far enough away from view. But take a look at this. Instead, they seem to have a game of helicopter tag.
What the bloody hell is that? Incoming missile! Hang on!
Break right. Mayday, mayday. This is Hammer 6-4. We are going down. I repeat, we are going down 2 miles south of waypoint 5.
You've just seen that when the helicopter crashes at the beginning of Hunted, that it clips through a section of ground texture, which then disappears. Now normally when we crash, the player sees a redout and then a blackout whilst it's happening, which covers the crash part up. But my guess is this ground texture is there to cover the fire from the crash, as it's always present from the very start. After the crash has happened, the texture can then disappear as it's no longer needed. However, this is what the scene looks like without those blackouts.
Copy. You are cleared to engage the moving vehicle and any personnel around you see.
Death from Above is the legendary mission where the player is based inside an awesome AC-130. Of course, no matter where I move the camera during this mission, we're not going to be able to see any aircraft, as it's all done with just the camera itself, which is set on a circling flight path. Then when we complete the certain tasks, it moves on to the next area of the map. But I thought it was cool just to fly down and take a look at some of the scenery whilst in this black and white thermal vision.
Tracking. More enemy personnel. Roger, guy moving. Recalibrate out of the sweep angle, adjust elevation scan. We're taking cover by that way to engage ground targets. We got hostiles setting up along the curved road. Hostiles preparing to ambush along the road is hostile. Cleared to engage. Smoke them.
Wildfire, we're under attack. We could use some help here.
Crew, track those smoke trails and take them out of the source. Clear a path for our guys.
Wildfire, we're approaching the LZ at the junkyard and leaving the vehicles.
Roger that, Bravo 6. Crew friendlies are leaving the vehicles and moving on foot towards the LZ. Do not fire on any personnel marked. Crew, VIP is secure and in custody. Good job, everyone. Roger that. Returning to base. Objective, 30 seconds.
Outlaw, this is Deadly. We'll take out the big targets. Mop up any troublemakers with Mark 19.
signs this is Overlook. We're seeing enemy armor in the Palm Grove west of the river.
Taking fire. RPGs on the rooftops. Right armor. Take it out, Jackson. More ground infantry. Watch it. We got RPGs on the rooftops. Anti-air battery. Rooftop. Hostiles with RPGs. Everyone, hang on!
When we wake up from the nuclear explosion inside the helicopter, I was interested to see how much of the city that's now crumbling from the previous mission is still around us. From the player view, it does look like quite a lot of it still remains. However, it turns out there isn't too much out there. The map goes from being one of the largest during the campaign to one of the smallest. Of course, this is understandable as we don't exactly get to walk too far during this scene.
Move out.
Arguably one of the greatest and most memorable missions during any of the Call of Duty campaigns, and certainly one of my favourites, has to be All Gillied Up. And again, if we take the camera above the map, we can see practically all of the map is here right from the start, up until the point of taking the shot out of the hotel window, even though that particular part of the map is used during the next mission.
This way. Let's go. This way. Let's go.
And take a look at the power plant that went boom all those years ago. For me, the developers have done a great job in making this map feel very eerie, just as I'd imagine being here in real life would be.
Follow me. Okay, I think I see him. Wait for my mark.
Towards the end of our time in Chernobyl, we're faced with hordes of soldiers next to the iconic Big Wheel and Fairground, so I was curious to where exactly so many of these soldiers were coming from. They actually spawn just inside this building's entrance.
Bravo 6, this is Vulture 1-6. We're tracking an enemy convoy headed your way. I count 6 vehicles in the convoy, over.
Roger that. Nobody fires a shot until I give the order.
We got company, sir. Enemy reinforcements to the south.
He's gonna hit the tower!
Target is making a run for it.
Good to see you guys made it. We'll give you sniper cover once you're inside the perimeter. What the hell is that?
Roger, Bravo 6. Our satellites are tracking them now. Get your team inside the facility and retake the launch control center. We're working on getting the abort codes from the Russians at this time. Out.
Let's move! We don't let hook up!
At the beginning of the video we took a look at one of the skyboxes and found two little pigs, but that's not the only skybox I found with some interesting details. This one on the mission All In was also fun to look at, as you never normally get to see anything other than the mountaintops due to the way the map rises around the edges. So here is a quick look at what the player wouldn't normally be able to see. It looks as though this 360-degree photo was taken on a river, maybe on the bank or on a rocky island in the centre of it. Either way, the next time you play this mission, you can always remember what's just underneath you. The final mission from the main campaign, Game Over, took several hours to film just because I had to keep replaying it over and over again to get the footage roughly how I wanted. So I really hope you enjoy watching this chase from something other than the first person perspective that we always see it from. Also watch out for how the helicopters appear and disappear as the chase goes on.
Not good enough, faceplate! We'll be dead in 10! Open fire on that truck! We got some more company! Troop truck closing fast! Another RPG on that truck! Get hit! Take out that truck! Shoot that truck! High! 6 o'clock high! Pick up an RPG and fire on that high! High at 9 o'clock! Hang on! Pick up an RPG and fire on that high! High, 12 o'clock! The hide's bugging off! Must have run out of ammo! Good enough for me! Yeah, no kidding! Oh shit, he's about to take out that bridge! Stop the bloody truck! The bridge isn't gonna hold! Move, move, move!
The Russian government released a statement today confirming a series of nuclear missile tests in central Russia.
Although world leaders were quick to denounce the action, Russian officials maintain that the missile tests fell well within established UN protocols.
Alright guys, coming towards the end now, there is just one thing I had to include in this episode, if nothing else, as it's something that I haven't seen shown anywhere else, even after scouring the internet. I've watched Call of Duty Secrets videos, Easter egg videos, secret room videos. I've looked at various websites for information and I couldn't find this anywhere. However, I have said this before, and obviously the internet is a big place, so if you do have any information on the secret room that I'm about to show, then feel free to let me know. Okay, so throughout the epilogue there are various rooms which we never enter as a player, like the bathrooms. And even though we don't enter them, some of them do have varying degrees of detail, possibly just in case the player sneaks a quick peek inside. However, there are a couple of rooms that we never see inside, as the doors never open, like this one we're in now, which has tiled flooring and what looks like cabinets and a worktop. This room looks almost as if at some point it was turning out to be a kitchen of some sort. However, the most exciting room I found, and the one I was talking about moments ago, is right next to the storeroom we started inside. Take a look at this. When I first took a look beyond this door, I was expecting nothing to be here except maybe the skybox or maybe an open space inside the shell of the plane, but to my utter surprise, there is what looks like an office room inside here. Then when I spun the camera around, you'll see that the flooring starts to go missing, so again I thought that was it, until I found this hidden mini cinema room, or maybe it could be a briefing room of some sort. I genuinely couldn't believe what I was seeing, as I've been playing this game for over 10 years now and I never knew this room existed. How cool is this? Again, like I said, if you do have any information or can find any information regarding these rooms, then feel free to drop a comment. It would actually be good to see if together we can find out why they are here, and also if we are seeing these mystery rooms here for the first time. However, that is it for this episode, guys. Thank you so much for watching, and any support you can give to the channel, whether it's hitting the like button or sharing the video on different social media platforms, I really do appreciate it. I hope to see you here again soon. Until the next one, as always, take care.